Welcome back to my daily agenda. Thank you. I know. Calm down. So, I'm a bit nervous tonight, and let me tell you why. Because my chair is squeaking, obviously. So, tonight I'm going to go out on a limb. And now 2020 and 2021 have been super strange and fucked up. I'm assuming for everyone. Unless you were a lottery or Powerball winner holding one of those big checks with your COVID mask on, then congratulations to you. Good luck traveling and shopping for everything you ever wanted online. Have fun. Just watch out for all the package thieves. So I've been wanting to do this video for some time now, and it took a lot longer than I wanted it to, and that's only because I needed time to figure out exactly how I wanted to do it. And, well, I think I got it. At some point during 2020, I started noticing a lot of sign language interpreters during press conferences and whatnot, and so I thought it would be fun to do one myself. By no means am I making fun of any person with any form of handicap, meaning deaf people, or people who sign. Now, when it comes to politicians and what they say, well, hell. How can anyone understand, let alone interpret, what they're saying? It is what it is. I'm always open for interpretation. That's a joke, by the way. Anyway, it must be so difficult to put certain things into translation. Somehow they do it. Don't ask me how. I can only speculate. A couple of semesters playing with a Rubik's Cube or two, just a guess. Anyway, I wanted to see how I would do it, right or wrong. Well, obviously fucking wrong, right? You know what I mean. So, I'm going to be making a lot of verbal transitions that aren't going to make a lot of sense whatsoever. And on the same note, I am going to sign in my own way to communicate. So, this should be pretty interesting. Okay, to the left of me is Ashley. I refer to her as Little Ashley, because there she is, all little down there. Say hi to everyone, Little Ashley. Okay, I'm a bit nervous. Okay. Now that that's out of the way, I'm gonna jump into the deep end. Ready, Ashley? Whether you're a swimmer or not, time to jump in the deep end. It would probably be too quick and easy to jump in the shallow side of the pool. For some, it's the shallow end of the gene pool. Especially from a great height. Doesn't seem to be too fun to faceplant into the concrete at the bottom. Besides a fucked up face and blood mixed with chlorine, and not a lifeguard in sight, only makes for someone having to fish out a floating body. These 2 years have been wild, crazy, and all around fucked up in so many ways. And no, I'm not talking about finding someone's tooth in a bowl of tomato soup. Or shitting your pants while waiting in line at Walmart. I wish 2020 would have been that easy. Do you recall the start of COVID? Well, let me try to break it down. It went something like this. Coronavirus, COVID-19. Mask? No mask. Politics, politicians pointing fingers, who's doing what, and what should be done. Then shit hit the fan when everything came to a stop. Well, depending on where you lived in the world or in this country, I have to say it was pretty crazy to see everything at a stop, a standstill. There were no sports, meaning football, basketball, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, golf, racing, UFC, baseball. No movie theaters, shopping malls, concerts, comedy clubs, schools closed. Oh, let's continue education through Zoom. Oh, reopen schools. Wait, no, close them again. Back to Zoom. No cruise ships, travel, vacations, Las Vegas, bars, clubs shut down. The stay-at-home order pissed a lot of people off. Oddly enough, even those who don't even work. Then there's those who can no longer cheat on their girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband, whatever. From my understanding, even the bunny ranch was closed for a hot minute. Not that you need to go there to cheat, let's face it, that's what neighbors are for. Hot dog vendors were fucked for a second. Even babysitters, right? Hard to believe. Babysitters probably didn't mind and probably needed the break. Really, who wants to watch them snotty nose, out of control, throwing shit at you, still not off the tit, wanting to breastfeed little bastards in the first place. Always trying to put them to bed, read them a quick story, and they still almost catch you rubbing one out on the couch. Oh man, and then you're up for another hour trying to explain to them what a spatula is. At some point, if things weren't essential, then there was no need for you to be working. I guess that's where stimulus checks and or unemployment comes in. Rent's not being paid and landlords are pissed off. Isn't all work to provide a secure household and a means of life and income crucial, let alone essential? Don't know it, can't call it, don't vouch for it. And I'm sure bull riding was also affected. Not to mention companies who fumigate for roaches. Everything took a hit, a stop, a slowdown, disbelief, confusion. I love conspiracies. Now, I'm not saying that COVID is one of them, just like all of them. Yes, 2020, the same year of global protest over police killings, sparking the biggest protests and riots that would follow. Not to mention a presidential election right around the corner. Now, not to take away from COVID and the deaths caused by it versus the recovery rate along with it, COVID, in a way, reminds me of biological warfare. But I won't get into all of that, but I'm sure you know what I'm saying. One way or another, the thought of death in this age of fast-moving science could be stumped. Science has its own arguments. However, what a very convenient time to engage in silence. How do you do that? Well, brings me back to mask or no mask. Hard to have a voice if you're wearing a mask. And if going anywhere is limited, you pretty much can't say much of shit. A mask covering your mouth takes away from the comments you might normally make to a stranger, random input, small talk, socializing. And you probably at some point heard more than one person say, or hand gesture, "I'm sorry, what did you say? I didn't hear you." It's not like the mask is on their fucking ears. It's just the volume of voice is muffled. Plus, we all take lip reading for granted. I feel sorry for those who have to listen to those low-talking motherfuckers. Like, speak up. I have no patience. I'm out. Start walking around and pay someone to sign for you. I'm sure Ashley would agree with that. By the way, how is our little signer keeping up so far? A bit tough, is it? Oh yeah? Well, fuck you too, Ashley. Yeah. Anyway, you know what? Let's see if this bitch can keep up. When I often play with knives, I can't help but thinking of cutting off a finger or two. But just a finger, not a thumb or a pinky. By the way, I hate after I finish a good cup of coffee that my ears start ringing. No one seems to understand my overwhelming preference for breast milk. And I cannot vacuum the hallway if you are sitting there eating a bowl of soup. Put some shorts on and shave your balls. After you blow out your birthday candles, I'll let you paint my toenails. Speaking of good sex and camels dry humping in the desert, when was the last time you jumped rope or even read a fucking book? I recently had a friend who tried to play Russian roulette with an empty squirt gun. What a fucking airhead. I finally convinced her to go brunette, and now she plays with a loaded revolver. Always happy to help. I once noodled a catfish, and it took 4 days for me to realize my arm was broken. If you don't know what noodling is, you should definitely look it up. And if you do know what it is, leave a comment below. I often wonder if anyone has ever masturbated to an infomercial. I bought a juicer and was pissed off when I put potatoes in it and I didn't get vodka. My left nostril flares every time I hear the word bukkake. And if you don't know what bukkake is, well, maybe don't look it up. My second cousin has 3 nipples and is embarrassed to go snowboarding. She once gave me a houseplant and told me its name was Robert. I'm a big fan of donating blood. I think women should do it at least once a month. My mother always told me when horseback riding, don't worry about parallel parking. If you have to bring pasta salad or deviled eggs to your family reunion, skip the Rohypnol and save it for your class reunion. I learned the hard way, never keep a plunger in your freezer. I recently came across something very valuable, all because my gynecologist is left-handed. Some businesses are so fucking dumb, advertising 2-for-1 hot dogs and a free prostate exam. I'm not even a man, and I'd take that deal with just 1 hot dog. There is never a good reason to high-five a 4-year-old. I'm still looking for a way to politely tell my parents their child is an asshole. And by the way, before I wrap it up and get out of here, I'm sure there are a lot of couples across the world giving each other oral sex through a slit in their masks. Okay, now, no applause needed. Does the average person realize there's no such thing as common sense? I'm still convinced that one day my design for steel-toed sandals will eventually catch on. Why does it smell like burnt popcorn in here? Aim, shoot, kill, plant a fucking seed. Or your sign language is just as simple as smoking weed. Oh yeah, and a grapefruit. But you fucked up. And so, on that note, I'm fucking out of here.